Welcome back, everybody. To start with, a huge thank you to each and every one of you that's made this 300 subscriber video possible. So, drawing portrait today, so it's a little bit different. So, I'm going to have to do a lot of camera moving around and stuff. So, I thought I'd just do a little introduction and just say a huge thanks. And hope you enjoyed this one, and it will be long. So, grab yourself a nice cuppa and let's crack on, shall we? Right, let's do it. Alright, let's start with one of the cages that the hag has got on her little market stall. I'm going to do it nice and sketchy, maybe a little bit darker than usual, only because there's a lot of stuff going on in this image, and we're going to have to see how we do, really, because in terms of time, I feel like normally I could spend a good hour or two, well, probably more than that, doing this sort of thing. So we'll do a little bit sketchier, just so that, it's not a huge long video. Plus, I don't think the phone I'm using has enough memory to do that. But we'll see. Apologies if you can hear all the birds outside. They're chatting away today. Chatting away. Very happily. We've got a very naughty magpie that lives outside the window now, so I feel like she comes and waits for me to be doing anything, and then she starts nattering on. It's quite sweet, really. So yeah, huge thanks to everyone for voting and supporting the channel. I know we're only a little channel, but it means a lot. And also, thanks to the people that didn't vote frog, because even though that's quite funny, I thought 300 frogs would be a lot of frogs. Possibly too many frogs. Cool, right. So I draw the little straps holding this one cage. Cool. Nice. I imagine we'll have to do some sort of outlining at some point, but we'll see how we go, and if it doesn't feel like it needs it, then we won't, but I imagine it will need some sort of outlining, so I might do that as I go along, actually, because I don't know what it is, the outline towards the end of a video just seems a bit of a chore sometimes, and I don't want it to feel like a chore ever. Though it does give a nice finish to the drawing, I will admit. Cool. So I need to remember where we're sort of drawing with this one, so I don't forget. So the wooden box is gonna have seen better days. Have I already messed up? I did mess up. Oh no, I didn't. That's okay. That's fine. We're good. We're good form. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that I'm not very good at drawing wood. I always find it a little bit, I don't know, I find it a little bit boring, and I think my mind goes elsewhere when I'm drawing any sort of wood. So I do like some nice marks, and I guess it's like maybe oak or something, something very strong, and you'll see why it's needs to be strong because of the resident within the little cage. Cool. Cool. Okie dokie. We don't want the wood looking perfect, do we? We want it like chipped and more interesting looking. I think that's nice about sort of drawing a fantasy sort of box, you know, it wouldn't be perfect. It wouldn't be manufactured like in a shop. It would be probably made by some sort of merchant that specializes in making boxes at the side of the road, and that's probably where this hag has either bartered and bought it from or probably stolen it. Nothing against hags. I mean, you know. Okay, cool. And the top of the box, I guess, will be... Oh, I'm wondering actually, maybe the top of the box should be... Oh yeah, it'll just carry on being, should be a little slat. No, I think that's fine. Try not to overthink things on this one as well, because I just want to enjoy the process of just celebrating 300 subscribers. Though I think at the time of drawing this, it's more like 320, which is incredible. Very, very quick. Maybe our next milestone will have to be like 500, because I feel like otherwise I'd just be prepping for the next 100. But I think that's wishful thinking. Right. Okay, and then we'll carry this down. Okay, I'm not on camera. Hey, see? Learning. Slowly. Okay, cool. I'm gonna carry on up here. So these are like the big leather wraps, keeping this cage secure in base. I always struggle drawing leather without having lots of shading and, you know, a bit of colour, but I think hopefully it will look sort of how I imagine it in my head. One of those people that sort of has that sort of vague image in their head of what they want, and most of the time it's just pure luck if it looks like it or not. So let's hope this is one of those times. I'll do a little bit of, I guess in my head this is kind of like the shine of the leather. I think that makes sense. And another big piece of material. Nice, cool. Some of those people that are drawing while they listen to me ramble on. Very curious what you're drawing right now. Instead of concentrating on what I should be doing, I'm wondering, thinking, oh, what's everyone else doing? Or everyone's drawing monsters, or, you know, something really pretty, a field, or it could be anything, couldn't it? So yeah, if you are drawing, I'd love to know what it is. I think I can tell that I'm focusing on what I'm doing at the moment, because whenever I am, I get the doobie-doobies. You know, the doobie-doobie-doos. Cool. And we won't go right to the edge of the page, because I like a little bit of a border. And I did originally try the masking tape, but I had one bad experience, and I was like, oh no, it's not going to work. So we won't do that. Cool. Okay, we're nearly done 1/30 of the drawing. Look at that. Practically finished. So this bit of the box is really damaged on that bit. You'll see why. Okay, and then move it up a little bit. And it's it's meant to be like a little baby dragon. There's little horns back here. on the top of his head. I always thought the horns on the top of dragons almost kind of look like a crown, which I think is really cool because I guess they're very royal, aren't they? Majestic creatures. Very naughty. Wonder if he's looking down at the hag's table and seeing the gold and thinking, how can I get that? How can I start my little hoard? Little hoard of gold. And one little claw. Another little claw. That's cute. I like that. Move down again. Hopefully it's still in focus. I'll do some like sort of scratch marks on this side of the wood so he's clearly figuring out how to get out. Must be a very dense wood thinking of it, as you've got a little fire breather in here. That makes sense, right? Okay, and then I think his tail sort of coming out like this. It's gonna be a very spiky little dragon. Very spicy. I always thought that was quite funny when I heard someone talking about their cat. And if it's like particularly scratchy and bitey cat, they always say, oh, it's a bit spicy. I always think that's a really funny way of saying naughty or bitey. Or so if you ever come across that, someone says, oh, my cat's a bit, a little bit spicy, beware. Means they bite. Or maybe just kind of threaten to bite. Okay, cool. Nice. I very rarely draw dragons these days. I used to. I think I was quite obsessed with dragons when I was younger and couldn't get enough of them. And then I sort of, drew them too many times and sort of got bored of drawing them, I guess, in a way. And this might be the first dragon I've drawn in probably years. And you know what? I'm really enjoying drawing a little dragon again. Feels like a little bit of a blast from the past. I think I learned how to draw dragons when I was about maybe 13. And then I don't think I spent any time ever again learning to draw them. So it kind of looks like a little drawing from the past. I don't think my style has changed dramatically in terms of, when I was younger as well. So it's kind of cool. It's like drawing in the past. It's like time traveling. That was deep. Crikey, that was deep. Total mistake. By accident, deepness. Right. So his wings should be like up here. Okay. Oh, you know what? I've just realized something. The little cages, we should have like a little tag. I wonder if we can slip a little tag in here. And have like a little bit of ripped, semi-burnt paper. Yeah, that'd be cool. A little burnt piece of paper like that. Little hole for the little bit of thread holding it. There's a few little marks down here. Marks here. I guess this is like little burnt patches, People come too close and he gives them a little warning blast. He is spicy after all. And then I don't know what to put on the little piece of paper. I don't know. We'll put Fred. Fred the dragon. They're a little bit worn out as well. Maybe in this sort of world, dragons take a very long time to grow. So even though he's little, maybe he's like he's already like maybe 5 or 6. I don't think he's been in this cage for very long, and I have no doubt that he won't be in this cage for much longer. I think he's already figured out how to get out, and he's just biding his time. I like that. I guess his wing would come out slightly here as well. I could do that. I mean, I will encroach what I've drawn, but I love the idea of just drawing how I feel at the time. There's his wing going around. Does it need another little bit? No, I think that's okay, isn't it? And the rest of his body sort of here. Sort of making up as I go along, actually. I prefer doing that than purely sticking to what I've drawn, because I think it's more fun to sort of figure it out as I go. Yeah. Plus, I always think it gives me more time, well, more practice in figuring out my mistakes and trying to fix things, which I think is a nice skill to have. So these are the folds of the skin on little Fred's wing. Okay, and then I'll come back up. I don't often use a little piece of paper, just to careful of smudging, but I just thought it'd be important to use it today. I got a big piece to do, and I really don't want to smudge it. I'm already really enjoying this. So yeah, thank you everyone that voted, and this was great. It was a great choice, and to be honest, any of the choices would have been really fun to draw, and equally as silly, I'm sure. Alright, where's the cage go? Okay, so I like this spike, so I want to actually change the trajectory of the trajectory? The shape? No. The scaling? Something of the box. I do want to take away from it. And so he's got a little claw there. I don't know, but maybe that's his other arm sort of coming down here. And then that little bit, I guess, would be his back right thigh. I don't know, I'm making up as I go along. I have no idea. Cool. I might do a little bit more detailing. You know, a nice burnt patch here, because that's right where his face is at the moment, so. And I guess, actually, you know what, we'll put loads of burnt patches here, so it really is showing that he's slowly getting through this little bit. I guess that's why he's just holding on at the moment, thinking, yeah, just you wait, hag, on the way out. I wonder how she came about having a baby dragon. Probably stole it, or stole it for some adventurers that were raising it, or no doubt. Hag will get what she deserves. Naughty hags. Always liked hags. I think the whole premise of them is just wonderful and terrible at the same time. Alright, we should do another wing. We have loads of room in here to use up, and I don't want to leave anything. We've got a nice big bit of negative space at the bottom of the drawing, so I don't mind sort of overcrowding this section. There's the top of, I guess, his right wing. Yeah, his right wing. Do some more spikes coming off the back. Very cool. Right, let's carry on. So these are some nice little gremlins. And they're very naughty. Let's get to them in a second. Let's do this bit first. So this looks like a piece of metal to hold them, or to hold the cage. Like that. We'll do a little bit of a shine. And then, kind of like what we did for the leather, just sort of have that sense of movement as well. And then lots of little rope, which you'll see in a second was a massive, well, a massively problematic choice from the hag, since these little gremlins are very resourceful, and I think they're on the verge of escaping as well, so maybe the market doesn't seem to keep the creatures for very long, because each time she brings them to the market, they somehow escape by the end of the day. Sort of. So this kind of looks like it's ripping right now, doesn't it? Because of the little bits of thread sticking out. So I guess this is sort of within seconds. This will snap, and then all chaos will come out, which is wonderful. I like that. I like the chaos. And that's the back bit of the little metal thing. And there's another little metal thing, and that's part of the. So I'm just narrating as I go. And cool. And then I'll do our first little character. I have to think of names for all these little naughties. He's smiling, his eyes are shy. He's having a great day. And his little nose. He's going to have like a little crinkly face. He's going to have a very naughty little face. I always like how anime, how they do their mouths. They always leave a little gap, and it just breaks up that little bit of solidness, doesn't it? I do in a lot of my drawings. I just have that little break. I think it just gives it a little bit less hardness to the drawing. I like that. He's got a little eyebrow as well. He's very happy about his choices. He's got a little chin hair. I think this is a little chap. Very naughty little chap. And his ear. And he got lots of little rips, probably from like fighting his friends, and I don't know if, I guess it is a little gremlin, isn't it? I don't know what it is actually. I wasn't really thinking about it when I drew it. I thought that looked really fun. It's got very long little arms as well. Nice long little spindly arms. Kind of a weird bend there, but that's okay. I'm going to do slightly larger hands so we can add the detail so it doesn't get completely washed out with everything else going on. So it's a little bit stylized here. And then this hand is, I can't really even see what I was drawing there. Oh, I think I can actually. Little hand. Notice in a lot of my drawings that I get to the point of drawing hands, and then, I think I'm getting a bit like, my brain's a bit tired from the drawing, so they're not very good. So it's good that I'm drawing the hand now rather than later, because I don't like the idea of, not doing a bad job with the hands, because hands are just wonderful to draw, even though I don't think I'm particularly good at them. But maybe a few more drawings, a few hundred more drawings, and we'll be on good form. Right. I just looked at the time. We're already on about 23 minutes. Wow. Maybe it needs to be a two-parter. We could do that, can we? What do you think? I'm just suddenly aware that I'm talking to myself. You ever get that? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm having a conversation. Yeah, so I guess maybe two parts. We'll maybe stop this at like an hour, and then we'll do another one. So yeah, maybe two parts would be better than one massive long video. I'll still do it all today, and I'll release them together. So, oh, there's that noisy magpie. Can you hear him? Chatting away. Yes, mate. Yeah. telling me all about his day. Nice. I think I was very optimistic to think that this will be 2 hours to do, or like an hour and a half, or wherever it was I thought originally. I think more likely it will be 3 hours. And these are really old, rusted scissors, so that's why they're sort of sore in the. I was going to sort of sore in the bread. Not quite, man. Sore in the rope. Cool. Cool. I'll do a little bit like little threads, like sort of like sticking out. That's cool. I like that. Cool. Then we draw the other bit. This is my still on camera. Hey. Yeah, they look more like shears, don't they, than scissors? Maybe that's what they are. Oh no, I did a mistake. Oh, that's a bit of rope. Oh no. Okay, pretend you don't see it. It's all fine. I've got the natural shakiness again today. That's alright. There's lots of little bits that we can make use of that. Not to worry. A little bit of a broken bit there. I did the broken bit because I went too thin, so I thought, oh, just pretend that that's part of the scissors. No one will ever know. Cool. Okay, that is an exceptionally small amount of work done in such a long time. Oh dear. I remember past me, only about 20 minutes ago, saying, oh, I'm going to draw really quick, so we can get it all done. Yeah? How's that going, mate? How's that going for you? Not great. Okay, there's one of the bars on this little cage. Okay, cool. And then I draw another bar here, up into the point of his little friend. I think I should do like polls maybe in the future for when I'm drawing something, big, or a new character or something, to ask people's thoughts on names. That would be quite cool if we had some names thrown in. His arm's very long. Wow. That's fine. Maybe he's leaning forward a lot. Cool. Alright, and then this one. So these are not going to be all, tattered and scorched like the wooden box here. I guess it's because this is probably metal or something. So clearly the hag thought these naughty little chaps and chapesses needed a much stronger cage than a dragon. Okay, and then I suppose the other end of the box there. So I'm going back and forth. I think that'd be fine. We'll just do a few little details. I don't think it needs to have too much. Just to show that there's the box. And again here. That's fine. Yeah, I don't think we need to overwork it. And then we've got another little naughty holding on to the cage. Nice little claws on him. I'm not sure what this one should be doing. Something equally naughty, I imagine. And she's going to have like a little plait from the front of her hair. And then it goes back over herself. And like 2 little bits. Or just 1 little bit. And then I'll put 1 ear behind because I forgot what I was doing. That's such a naughty little look. She's got some little eyebrows. Not sure if I should have done eyebrows or not, but I'm going to stick with my choices. Nice little ear. And then this ear is kind of coming out of the front. Oh, lost my voice then a little bit. This ear is coming out the front. I know I wasn't particularly interested either, so I don't think I needed to repeat it, but now you know. Just in case you were thinking, what did he mumble about? That's what I mumbled about. And then a little foot. A little foot? Oh, that's a knee. Close though. Oh, I'm off camera, I'm so sorry. Right. Right. Okay, am I still on camera? Hee. Some little toes. Nice. It's cool. And then, I don't know where the arm should be. I'll come back to that. Maybe it's just holding the other bar up here. Yeah, I think that's quite cute. So maybe she's just sort of watching the goings on and making sure the hag doesn't turn around while, I forgot his name, Bob. While Bob is being sneaky. Yeah. And this comes up, I guess it's like a metal sort of, don't know, like casing, I guess, or something. Cool. And the other side of that and a little bit there. Not quite accurate, but it's fine. And then we'll put the last bar there. Put some little shine bits on it. Nice. How are we doing for time? Oh, wow. I think we may overshoot this video slightly. That's okay. You can always speed up the bits you like. Cool. His little tummy. I really like his little tummy. His little knee sticking out. And then this one sort of, this her one arm, her forearm, and then it sort of tucks in. And she'll be wearing like a little dress, I think. She got a little dress on. It's quite sweet. And it's all sort of crinkled and wrapping over. Kind of looks like Dobby's sock. Cool. Some little hairs. Nice. Yeah, so I think we'll do this in 2 parts. And after about an hour, I'll have a little break and then come back to it a little bit more fresh. Because this room, as I've talked about in the past, it's quite warm. Give her some little hairs on her shin. some hairs on her foot. Keeps her warm in the winter. There we go. It's quite cute. Cool. And then that wrap round. Something else going on there. We'll come back to that. Still not entirely sure myself. Okay, then. So I've been watching a lot of Delicious and Dungeon. Again, I've gone back over myself and started again watching, and just love it. So such a wonderful idea of the fantasy, you know, the adventurers needing to eat in the dungeon. It's just something I've never really thought about. It's actually, you know, kind of been implemented in, like, because of that series, is when playing D&D, that's really implemented within food now, so isn't that cool? And sorry, my train of thought kind of lost, but I like the one with the kraken. So this is what's in this little tube of fabric. It's a little mini kraken. So this is sort of the leather or just cloth. Hopefully be a little bit wet to keep the kraken happy. And what we'll do is should we do some little eyes as well? I haven't drawn them, but I think that would be cute if we did. I can't quite remember what squid eyes look like. I think they're like kind of weird, aren't they? Like that. Yeah, that's either correct or that's a goat. Always get mixed up. And we got little fin bits here. And then we'll do his little mantle. There we go. Nice. A little bit of, we'll do like, I want that idea that it looks wet. That's what I'm going for, but maybe it won't come across. But hopefully it does. And then we'll do some line work for, yeah, the little wrap bit, that's fine. Don't think it needs too much on that. Just the right amount. And then we'll carry on with more little bits of rope. Actually, I think I've missed a bit of a chance here. Actually, no, not so much missed. I just thought we've got a little crack in here. A little kraken's have tentacles, so I wonder what the tentacles should be doing. Originally, when I was drawing the bottom bit, I was kind of thinking of roots, but I guess we could kind of have that interacting with the other things, couldn't we? We'll have to come back to have a little think and see what we get into. So this is another, well, this is sort of just a normal little bag, little sort of canvas bag of roses, but you know, like more fantasy roses, so they're quite nasty and sharp. Alright, so we'll do the stems. We want them all kind of mixed up, going over each other, because it's more fun. There we go. Nice. Cool. So how's everyone's week going so far? I always ask these questions like, oh, how was your afternoon, or how was your evening? But everyone watching is different times, and so how was your day? I mean, that's pretty safe to say, isn't it? How's your day going? What have you been up to? Anyone doing anything fun? You know, today or on the weekend? Any plans? Right. Going okay. Going all right. apart from being incredibly slow. We haven't really done anything, have we? Right, so we'll come back to that later. Tentacles. What could the tentacles be doing? Have a little look. One could be wrapping around here. Or is that too far away? We'll come back to that. Right, we got some herby things to draw now. So I'm going to just draw them as bizarre angles ever. Not because I'm awkward, but a little bit awkward. Cool. So this is just a little wrap of like herbs. I think that's important. A little herby bit, because I think the option on the 300 subscribers was to be selling creatures and flowers. So I guess herbs are kind of feel about okay with that. Plus, I think sometimes you just need that sort of break from the crazy details and just so your eyes have a little bit of somewhere to rest on, for a little bit. Otherwise, images can be like, wow, that's too much going on. Not that I think this is one that I think is relaxing to look at. I think it's more chaotic, which I kind of like the chaos. Chaos is good, I think, sometimes in art. My doodles. Alright, is that in front or behind? I think that's behind. Okay, that should be fine then. Do a big one. You'll see what I mean in a second. I've drawn some more flowers, and I want lots of interaction between them. And I want thicker ends so it doesn't, the point of it isn't so sharp that it kind of affects the sort of the look of the drawing. I think that makes sense. I don't like small lines next to or interacting with other small lines. I think it's, to me it looks messy. I can't distinguish between what's going on. Even my own drawings, I have sometimes I'm like, what is that? Cool. Nice. A little bit of interaction. Okay. Nice. Okay, that's nice. That was a nice easy bit. I think it's important doing like bigger pictures to have like those almost like respite bits so you don't have to think about it whatsoever, except for I forgot what I've drawn here, so not so much respite now, but just like these little bits that are a little bit easier to draw and require much less thought, and it certainly helps me because I always forget what I'm on about. When I'm drawing the bits that I haven't fully decided on yet, and I'm like, oh, what should I add there? Oh, what does that look like? All right. I guess this is, I don't know what this is. Some sort of leaf, sort of leafy, maybe, I don't know actually. Could be a herb, couldn't it? I don't use, I don't use any images or anything or references to draw my stuff. I always kind of just make it up as I go along. I get an idea in my head and I'm just like, right, let's do it. Sometimes I always think, oh, if I was using references, it'd be a lot easier, and I probably think a lot more realistic. But I quite like the weirdness. Sorry, this is a particularly boring bit to draw, isn't it? Must be even boringer. Boringer? More boring? Yunior? Boringer? Must be even more boringer to be watching. Go away. What is that? Oh, I've just smudged the ink. See me. There we go. I think I got way over there. It's okay. Okay, I'm going to do sort of one that interacts with the squid a bit. Maybe another one there. Maybe another one there. Cool. Okie dokie. That's the little squid, but I keep thinking this is a little bit of pencil line, but it's not. Or pencil sharpener, but it's not. It's just something else entirely. There's a rope going through there, which is holding this. I'm going to draw upside down. Why wouldn't I? Seems like a normal thing to do. And another little bit there, and sort of very haphazardly. What is that saying? That sounds super weird in my head, but maybe I've been drawing and talking too long, so words go a bit weird. Haphazardly? Is that right? It doesn't sound right. Anyway, I think this is going to be a three-parter. Originally it was just going to be in my sketchbook, and then probably a bit of about half the size, if not a little bit less. And then I drew a couple of, bigger pencil sketches, and I was like, oh no, it's got to be a big one. It's got to be big, and, got to celebrate the 300. 300 subscribers. That's so cool. 300 people subscribe to watch me draw and ramble. That's so cool. That's so nice. If you haven't got a little YouTube channel, if you haven't got a little channel yet and you do drawing, I would definitely advocate go for it. It's such a nice little place just to go and meet people that like stuff like you and chat. And I've never really been one for, building up, doing social stuff like Facebook and all that other stuff. I've never really been one of these people, but I think everyone I've met on here has been so wonderfully kind and friendly and fun, and it's just sort of changed the entire way I see YouTube, really, which is weird, right? Community. Right. I've definitely been drawing too long. We're getting all deep now. Outrageous. Right. How are we doing on that bit? We're doing alright. We haven't really done much. Right. We're due for another 10 minutes, and then I will have a bit of a break. We'll do the next bit. I'm going to draw over the top of what I've drawn here, because I think the flowers are actually hanging in front of the little gremlin creatures. And this is a particularly nasty rose, but again, this is something I should have used a reference for, because in my head I can't quite figure out what a rose leaf looks like. Something like that. I don't know. It's a fantasy rose. That's my go-to now. If something doesn't look right, I'm like, oh, it's a fantasy rose. Yeah, it's a special type of rose in this world. Yeah, that's how they look like. Yeah, exactly. Picture perfect. I really fancy a cup of tea now. Went to make a cup of tea before I started the video, and I realised I didn't have any milk. I was like, oh no. I've got a black coffee, and I've been looking at it, but it's quite warm today as well, and just not feeling a black coffee right now. A nice cup of tea. Just a good splash of milk. Nice little spoonful of honey. Making myself thirsty now. Okay. Oh, let me move that a little bit more. Hopefully I was in camera all that time. Wasn't paying attention, sorry. lost in talking about tea. Unfortunately, I don't think that's an uncommon thing on this channel. So what I might do is finish this little bunch of flowers, have to think of a name for this type of rose, and then I will pause it there, and I'll come back and I'll do another part, because I don't want to have a 3-hour video, because my hand is starting to hurt. But I should be the complaining artist, not the mumbling artist. Oh, my hand hurts. Been drawing flowers. It's okay, man. You got this. Cool. I'll do another. I wonder if it needs another one just here in the background. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll do one here. Yeah, like that. That's cool. I must admit, I'm enjoying drawing the flowers a lot. Just really relaxing, and compared to all the other little details we've been doing, this is quite calm. Do some little spikes, like spiked crown rose. I think that's a cool name. Spiked crown rose. Or just something sharp, white. That's kind of cool. I suppose they have little leaves as well at the top, don't they? I forgot about that. Put some here. We'll go on there. Not that you can distinguish them because they're not very well drawn, but yeah, nonetheless. The spiked crown rose. I have to think of something special for it. I wonder why of hag is selling them, or what properties they give, or you are good or bad. Cool. Yeah, should we finish that? Yeah, that's not bad. Look at that. We've done nearly a third. I think the bottom bit will be alright, but yeah, we'll finish off there for the first part. Sorry, you're missing out the thread bit, but I think that's okay. So yeah, I'm missing out the third bit, but right, let's have a break there. So thank you so much once again for the subscribers and just people coming to watch and enjoying the videos and having a chat. Right, I'm gonna go have a nice cup of tea. I'm gonna go get some milk. Anyway, take care. See you in a bit. Bye.